Hello dear students, welcome back to you in the next part of this chapter, which is in the kingdom of fools. So, let me remind you what we had studied in previous part. We had studied that how there was a thief. In fact, there was a kingdom in which everything was completely weird, strange. In fact, there the king was insane, whimsical person. So that is why he in fact changed the pattern of life. He made day night and night day. So one day, one guru and a disciple entered the kingdom, and they found everything so strange. In fact, what they found that this pattern of day was changed, and second thing, everything caused the same. That was what to do. So in fact, this was such lucrative that the disciple decided to stay there, although his guru tried to convince him not to do the same. He asked him to move back along with him, but disciple found it so easy to live there that was the reason he decided not to go from there. So in fact, guru in fact went there and disciple started living. One day what happened, there was a merchant. His house was broken into by a thief, but when the thief was coming out, the wall got broken. Subsequently, he got killed, and then thief brother approached the king, asking that it was fault of merchant to build such weak wall which killed his brother. Now, as a result, he wanted the merchant to be punished. The king in fact thought that the request of thief brother was quite logical, so that is why he ordered the merchant to come there. So merchant did come there. After that, merchant passed his mistake on a mason. Then mason passed his mistake on a dancing girl. He told that his attention was distracted by a dancing girl who was coming to and fro throughout the day, and this was the reason the merchant could not keep his attention. So that's what we had studied in previous part. Now let's go ahead with today's explanation. So see, before the king, what kind of wall that is you build? It's fallen a poor man. We did it. So here we are. You are right. The case deepens. You must look into. It's not easy to judge such complicated cases. Let's get that answer wherever she is. We did it in previous video. If you have not watched, so first of all go and watch previous video. Then see this one. The dancing girl, now an old woman, came trembling, shivering to the court. Did you walk up and down that street many years ago while the poor man was building a wall? Did you see him? So he asked. He interrogated the dancing girl. Yes, my lord, I remember it very well. And dancing girl also remembered everything. She was watching that someone was watching her. So you did walk up and down. Up and down means left and right, to and fro, with your anklets jingling. Anklet, ornament which is worn by women on their leg or left feet. So jingling is sound of anklets. You were young and you distracted him, so he built a bad wall. So it was fault of dancing girl. Why she was young? She should have taken birth as old. It has fallen on a poor burglar. Poor burglar means thief. He was poor thief. Wow. Someone is stealing something and he is poor. The king was poor himself, poor out of mind, and killed him. You have killed an innocent man. That thief is innocent man for the king. You will have to be punished. She thought for a minute and said, My lord, wait, I know why I was walking up and down that street, left and right that street. I had given some gold to the goldsmith to make some jewelry. What is it pronounced? Jewelry for me. He was a lazy scoundrel. He was a scoundrel, all right, a bully, all right, a useless person, scoundrel. He made so many excuses, said he would give it now and he would give it then, and so on all day. In this way, he kept on making excuses throughout the day. He made me walk up and down to his house a dozen times. That was when his bricklayer saw me. When this mason saw me, it's not my fault, my lord. It's that damn goldsmith fault. So this is the mistake of that damn goldsmith. Poor thing. She is absolutely right, thought the king. weighing the evidence. Weighing means measuring, calculating, all right, the evidence, if it is right or not. So he thought she was right. We have got the real culprit at last. Finally, we have got real criminal. Get the goldsmith, catch the goldsmith wherever he is hiding. At once, immediately. The king's bailiffs, bailiff means officers of court, king court, search for the goldsmith who was hiding in a corner of his shop. When he heard the accusation, the charge which was levied on him, he was charged with the accusation against him. He had his own story to tell. Of course, he came with his own story. He said, "My lord," he said, "I'm a poor goldsmith. It's true, I made that dancer come many times to my door. I gave her excuses because I couldn't finish making her jewelry because I finished the rich merchant's order." He told, my lord, why I couldn't complete her order, because I had another order, and that order was from merchant's house. There was a rich merchant. I had got his order, so I was working for the same. This was the reason I could not complete the order of this dancing girl. They had a wedding coming. A marriage ceremony was there, which was approaching, and they wouldn't wait. Rich people, they don't wait. You know how impatient rich men are. So this is a comment on rich people, that rich people are very impatient. Poor people are patient. They are restful, and rich people are restless. They never wait. They want everything to be done immediately. So who is this rich merchant who kept you from finishing the poor woman's jewelry, made her walk up and down? We distracted the bricklayer, which made a mess of his wall, which has now fallen on innocent man and killed him. So the king repeated the whole story. Can you name him? The goldsmith named the merchant, and he was none other than the original owner of the house whose wall had fallen. So see, student, how ridiculous this is. The story took a whole, complete circle, and after that it came back to its opening point. It came back to the same merchant whose house the thief was breaking into, and the wall had got collapsed and killed the thief. So now this goldsmith, the person for whom the goldsmith was preparing jewelry, that was the same merchant whose wall had fallen. So it took a complete circle. Now, so what he said, the king, now justice had come full circle. It had taken a complete circle. Thought the king back to the merchant when he was rudely summoned, and rudely summoned means called back to the court. He arrived crying. He said, "It wasn't me, but my father who ordered the jewelry. He is dead. I am innocent." He started crying. He said, "That king, why are you giving me punishment of my father? He had done that. I have not. I am innocent." But the king consulted his minister and ruled decisively. All right, what he said? It's true. Your father is the true murderer. It's right that your father is the true murderer. He is dead. But somebody must be punished in his place. If father is dead, someone is to be punished. You have inherited everything from that criminal father of yours. You have received everything from your father. All right, you have received his property, his wealth, his house. So that is why you will receive his punishment as well. All right, his riches, his money, as well as sins. So his bad works you will inherit as well. If you have inherited, you have received his good works, his property as well, you would receive his sins, his bad work as well. I knew at once, even when I first set eyes on you. When I saw you the very first time, and understood that you are the criminal, and now see, you have turned out to be. So he is praising himself now. Then you were at the root of this horrible crime. You were on the foundation of this horrible crime. You must die. The king ordered, you must die. And he ordered a new stake to be made. What is stake, student? It's a pointed pole. All right, a pointed rod is there, which is pierced inside the body of the person who is supposed to be executed. Executed means murdered. So a pointed rod is pierced, is thrust, all right, is in fact impelled into the body of the person who is supposed to be killed. So now in fact king ordered same kind of stake to be made for killing the merchant. So see, stake to be made ready for the execution means for killing. As the servants sharpened the stake and got it ready for the final impaling, impaling means piercing, thrusting, alright, of the criminal, it occurred to the minister that the rich merchant was somehow too thin. He was very weak to be properly executed on the stake. The minister thought that merchant was very weak, so that is why he was not gonna fit. He was not gonna be fit on that stake. A fat man was needed, for the stake. So let's see, execute stake. He appealed to the king's common sense. He said, "Sir, use your common sense. The minister is so thin. We need a fat man, an obese, who should be fitted on the stake. So that is why this is not right decision." The king too worried about it, and he also became worried about it. "What shall we do?" he said, when suddenly it struck him that all they needed to do was to find a fat man. They needed a fat man enough to fit the stake, who should be enough to fit the stake. The servants were immediately sent all over the town looking for a man who would fit the stake. Now see how whimsical, lunatic the king was. Now they had to kill someone. So since the merchant was so thin, now the new order was passed to find a fat man who should be fitted, on the stake. What is this stupidity? Like, if a fat man has not got to do anything with that crime, how should he be responsible, and then why should he be punished? But king was idiot, so that is why he ordered to find a fat man who should be killed in place of the thin merchant. So see who would fit the stake, and their eyes fell on the disciple who had fattened himself for months on bananas and rice and wheat and ghee, and whom they called the same disciple of the Guru who had in fact fattened himself, who had become very fat because he had been consuming everything immensely, because everything was so cheap, cost the same, one would do. So what he had been eating bananas, rice, wheat and ghee. So this all had made him very much fat. So that is why it was the reason he was chosen for the execution. So see, what have I done wrong? I'm innocent, I'm a sannyasi, he cried. He said, "Please leave me, I'm a sannyasi." That may be true, but it's the royal decree, it's royal order that we should find a man fat enough to fit the stake. They said, and carried him to the place of execution. He was taken to the place of execution. He remembered his wise Guru's word. What words were there? "This is a city of fools. You don't know what they will do next." He remembered what his Guru had told. Now he realized how he was wrong when he disobeyed his Guru. Students, see, he disobeyed his Guru, and that's what he had to face. So you must not respect your Gurus always. Watch every video, like, comment, subscribe, and keep studying. Otherwise you will also be in same trouble. Alright, मजाक कर रहे थे, कोई बात नहीं, सुन लो. अच्छा. And carried him to the place of execution. He remembered his wise Guru's word. What? This is a city of fools. You don't know what they will do next. While he was waiting for death, he prayed to his Guru in his heart, asking him to hear his cry wherever he was. So he remembered his Guru in his heart. The Guru saw everything in a vision. Guru saw a dream, and in that dream he saw everything. Guru was a pious, a holy person. He must have had miraculous power. So that was the reason he had magic power. He is full of magical powers. He could see far and could see future. He could see future as well as he could see the present and the past. So he was truly a miraculous person. He was able to see past, present, future. He arrived at once to save his disciple who had got himself into such a trap, such a trap through love of food, because he was glutton. A person who loves to eat is called glutton, and because of that, he had allowed himself to be trapped in such bait of food. As soon as he arrived, he scolded the disciple and told him something in whisper, in slow voice. Then he went to king and addressed him, O wisest of king, who is greater, the guru or the disciple? Of course, the guru, no doubt about it. Why do you ask? King asked him, why do you ask this question? Then put me to stake first, put my disciple to death after me. So the guru presented a strange request. He said, please, first of all, give me death punishment and then do the same with my student. When the disciple heard this, his student heard this, he understood and began to clamor, means shout. He started shouting, me first. You brought me here first. Put me to death first, not him. So he said, please give me capital punishment, death punishment first of all. The guru and disciple now got into a fight. They started fighting. Me first, me first, me first. First of all, kill me, kill me, kill me. Alright, so they started fighting for being killed. About who should go first. The king was puzzled, he was confused by this behavior because they were battling, they were fighting for being killed. Alright, he asked the guru, why do you want to die? We chose him because we needed a fat man for the stake. So Guru answered, you shouldn't ask me such questions. Put me to death first, replied the Guru. Why? There's some mystery, some secret here. As a wise man, you must make me understand. You must tell me what secret in it. Why do you want to die in place of your disciple? So, Guru said, will you promise me to put me to death if I tell you? See how childish it is. Like, if I fulfill your desire, will you give me? Alright, so he said, you promise me that you will give me death punishment if I tell you the answer. Asked the Guru, the king gave him the solemn word, his promise. Solemn word, promise. The Guru took him aside out of the servant earshot, from beyond the reach of servant ears, and whispered to him. He said, do you know why we want to die right now? The two of us, we have been all over the world, but we have never found a city like this or king like you. The stake is the stake of God of justice. He said, this is the stake of God of justice. Through the stake, God is doing his judgment, his justice, his verdict. Alright, it's new. This stake is very new. It has never had a criminal on it. It has never been used to pierce, to kill a criminal. Whoever dies on it first will be reborn as the king of this country. Fine, so the person who dies first will be reborn as the king of this country, and whoever goes next will be the future minister of this country. Alright, we are sick of our ecstatic life, this saintly life. We are bored with this saintly life. It would be nice to enjoy ourselves as king and minister for a while. And by dying in next birth, we would be king and minister. Now keep your word, please, king. Promise your word, my lord, and put us to death. Me first, remember, you made promise. First of all, you would give death punishment to me. The king was now thrown into deep thought. He was confused. What is this? If I kill them, they would be king and minister in next birth. I would lose my kingdom. He did not want to lose the kingdom to someone else in next round of life, means in next birth. He needed time. So he ordered the execution postponed, to put off to the next day, and talked in secret with Mr. He said, it's not right for us to give over the kingdom to others in next life. Let's go on the stake ourselves and will be reborn as king and minister again. He said, in this way you would be reborn as king and minister again. Holy men do not tell lies, and these kind of holy people don't lie. He said, and the minister agreed. They all were stupid, so they agreed. They believed the false story, of Guru. So he told the executioners mean murderer, will send the criminal tonight. When the first man comes to you, put him to death first. Then do the same to the second man. Those are my orders. Don't make any mistake. Fine. That night the king and his minister went secretly to the prison, released the guru and disciple, disguised themselves. Disguise means change the form. They got the got up of disciple and guru. They got the got up means they got the get up, the makeup, all right, of the guru and a disciple as the two, and as arranged beforehand, arranged in advance. They had told us the same thing to the executioners. With loyal servant were taken to the stake and promptly executed, and immediately they were murdered. So see, when the bodies were taken down to the throne to crows and vultures, bird, the people panicked. They got frightened finding their minister and king dead. They saw before them the dead bodies of king and the minister. The city was in confusion what to do. All night they mourned, they kept on crying and discussed the future of the kingdom, who would be king and minister. Some people suddenly thought of the guru and disciple and caught up with them as they were preparing to leave town unnoticed. They were leaving the town imperceptibly without being noticed by anyone. We people need a king and minister, said someone. Others agreed. They begged the guru and the disciple to be their king and their minister. It did not take many arguments to persuade the disciple. Disciple was not so strong character. He immediately became ready. He said, all right, I would be minister. But it took longer to persuade, to convince the guru. But guru got ready, having spent a good amount of time. They finally agreed to the rule and kingdom of the foolish king and the silly minister on the condition that they could change all the old laws. So they changed all the law. From then on, night would again be night and day would again be day, and you get good nothing for a duddu. And unfortunately, you cannot buy everything for a duddu. It became like any other place. Alright. So here in fact we end this chapter. What has this chapter taught us? This chapter has taught us to stay miles away from the company of stupid people. A stupid people's company might sound lucrative, might appear lucrative, attractive for a short span of time, but a long span of time that has to be drastically disastrous. That would of course cause you great damage if you are in their company. So be wise and nice in respect of choosing friend. If you have intelligent friend in your company, they would always be a great support and helping hand for you. So with this, let me bid adieu to you with the word, you're great and so am I.